Hey everybody, we just hit 10,000 subs. Not a massive milestone or anything like that, but something that I thought was at least worth acknowledging, so thank you. But what I want to talk to you guys about is this. It's my new favorite lighting modifier, Parabolic focusing bracket from Strobepro. Stick around for a few minutes, I'll tell you every reason why I think this thing is amazing. Now, if you've been working with studio lighting or just been researching studio lighting for any point in time, you've probably heard about a parabolic light modifier. Now, the thing is typically they were associated with an extremely high price tag, up in the $5,000–$6,000 range. But now Strobepro has released this, which comes in at $199 Canadian. That's like 75 cents American or something. Now what this does is it mounts inside of your light modifier. Now I've been using this with a rapid 47-inch Para softbox from Strobepro. Now the way this bracket works is there's actually a speed ring that's built right into the stand itself. So you take this, stick it into your softbox speed ring and lock it in. From there you would actually take the entire unit, mount it onto your light stand, then take whatever light source you're using and mount it to this front speed ring here. Now these speed rings are all interchangeable, they're stuck on with brackets, so if you don't have the Strobepro or Godox, if you will, type mount, the Bowens mount, you can actually swap this out to whatever type of mount it is that you have on your light. Now once you've got everything set up and mounted, what this allows you to do is actually loosen off this sleeve here on the back, and it actually allows you to move the light in and out within your softbox. Now the reason behind that is it actually takes the beam of light that you're creating and it can either focus it super tight or give you this really wide, soft, kind of just flow of light that, I don't know, the whole thing from the whole range is just something that I haven't been able to emulate in any other way outside of using this Para. It's a quality of light that I've just completely fallen in love with. I've only used this for a couple of shoots, but at this point, there isn't really any other modifier in the studio that I want to use as my key light at this moment in time. The way that it creates this focus of light, but allows for a fall off in the shadows that is just, it's so smooth and so clean without having to use any of the diffusion panels or anything like that. I just use this straight into my silver Para box, and it's just, I'll show you guys some examples of what it is that I've done with this to give you an idea of why I'm so excited. So for this first set of images, I was using just the Para bracket on its own. Now, where I actually had the bracket mounted was not quite halfway, but halfway pulled back a little bit just to give it that little bit more focus while still retaining the softer qualities of what this light's capable of creating. So as you can see on its own, granted it is a 47-inch octabox, so it is quite large, but the transitions between being able to use this up nice and tight to all the way to full body, the way the light falls off is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. And then from there, I actually took it and we moved into a 3-light setup. So I had 2 lights bouncing off of the background and then my Para as the main. And I just pulled this back a little bit, focused the light a little bit more just to give her a little bit more onto the face and less onto the body. And this is what it ended up looking like. And again, one last example just to show how you're able to actually control this light and control the beam and you know, really control where the light is following. I don't know how many times I can say the word control in all of this. But what I did was I had this light placed a little bit behind the model and then I focused the light just a little bit more just so that it would fall onto her face and just kind of graze across her shoulders. Then I had another light with a blue gel on it and an umbrella acting as a fill that was just kind of pumping into the shadows a little bit. And as you can see, the transitions to the light, even though I'm not using any type of diffusion panels on any of these shots, because the light is actually bouncing in an indirect way, it's creating this softness that is really, you know, more common with adding a couple of layers of diffusion that you get onto a softbox without actually needing to add those layers of diffusion. And so there you have it. This thing is hands down probably my favorite piece of lighting gear to come out in probably like the last 10 years or so. Not only that, it is crazy affordable. I need to touch on this real quick as well. This is not a sponsored video in any way. I'm not being paid to promote this or anything like that. This is just me super excited about something and just wanting to share it with you guys. Probably should have said that at the beginning. But not only that, the price on this thing is just, it's insane. $199 Canadian. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. When you factor in the Para softbox, it's 249 Canadian. So what you end up with is essentially a $450 Parabolic light modifier. Now, if you were to buy this through Broncolor, I'm just gonna bring this up, a 47-inch equivalent, and the Broncolor Para would be $5,000 Canadian. 450, 5,000. Yes, I get it. It's not going to be the exact same build quality, anything like that, but this thing is rugged. It's built much better than it should be for $199. And it's one of these things where I have no issue putting my stamp on this, saying, yeah, this is definitely something that you guys should look into if you're looking for this type of light modifier. Now, I just want to end this video off with just a few thoughts on the actual lights themselves. Now, I'm using the Strobepro X600PROs, which are also known as the Godox AD600PROs. And a lot of people have been asking me what my thoughts are on them ever since I switched over to them. Now, the versions that I have here, these have actually been updated. So there's been a few different things that have happened to them since their announcement. One of the big things being that it's now got 1/10 stops. So rather than the 1/3 stops for the incremental light changes, I can do 1/10 now, which has been fantastic. Now, when I first got these lights, I was having a little bit of an issue with misfires. Ever since I got the firmware update, that hasn't been an issue at all. So these lights have been super rugged, super durable. I mean, the build quality to them I found to be just unreal. The battery life is amazing. Not only that, the accessories that can come with these things are awesome. So if you're shooting all day in studio or something like that, and you don't want to be packing around a bunch of extra batteries, you can actually get an AC power adapter for these to plug into the wall and just shoot with them all day without actually having to worry about the battery power. Not only that, the high-speed sync that these things have, not having to use my ND filters anymore outside, and just the ability to switch between, you know, high-speed sync or a regular shutter, this and that, just on the fly, has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, you may have noticed in my video here that I was actually using a head adapter. Now, if you are going to be using this Para softbox, I would recommend getting an adapter. Yes, you can mount this to the bar. Yes, I do feel that that is a lot of weight going on the bar that's sitting in the middle of your Para box. So you're going to end up having to counterweight it at the end, and it just sort of turns into a little bit of a nightmare. So what I ended up getting was one of these extension heads. This just mounts to the light itself. The extension head goes in. It's super light. I mean, again, just another accessory that makes these lights easy to use and so adaptable that I've been a fan of the whole switch overall. Now, outside of that, I'm not going to get into any real technical aspects of it. I'm not a tech review channel. There's a ton of that information available on the YouTubes that you can go research if you like. I'm just, again, giving my stamp of approval saying, yes, these work. Now, why Strobepro and not Godox? Well, Strobepro is here in Calgary. There's an actual brick and mortar store that I can go to and talk to Jesse, who's the owner, if I'm having any type of issues. There's a 2-year warranty versus the 1-year warranty. And just, you know, the whole aspect of customer service that I get from there has been phenomenal. I can't recommend them as a company enough. Again, this is not a sponsored video. When I see something happening properly and right within the industry, it's something that I feel should be congratulated and something that should be talked about. So I just wanted to say, with this whole gamut of gear that I've been using lately, I've been super stoked on. And if you guys want to check out any of it, there's going to be links to all of it in the description below. I'm not getting paid for any of it. None of them are affiliate links. This is just me saying, hey, check this out, it's worth it. So with that, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I have another video coming out pretty quick here that's actually going to teach you how to meter these lights and how it is that I actually light the portraits that I create. So I'll be talking to you guys again very soon.